Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to unbox my new Cricut Maker 4. Before we start opening this big box, I want to say, listen, friend to friend, okay? If you have a Cricut and it's still in the box and you haven't opened it yet, and please ignore my dog's morning zoomies, please go get your Cricut. We're gonna open it together. It doesn't matter if you have a Cricut Explorer or Air or whatever it is, it's not gonna be that much different. Please go get your Cricut. Please pause the video. Please open your Cricut box. Let's do this together, okay? We don't keep our Cricuts in the boxes. Let's make this not scary, okay? I want to help you make this not scary and help you get your Cricut out, okay? So go get your Cricut and then come back. Okay, I'm sorry I bossed you around, but really, let's do it. Okay, so I already broke the seal here. I'm gonna flip the camera around so we can see what's in the box, okay? Okay, let's open it. I already broke the seal here. Oh, look at, this is the top. Is it? Yeah, okay, let's flip it. Let's flip it up. Okay, here we go. We're gonna open, wait a second, look at, there's a QR code. 15-minute guided setup. Now, this might not be on the older Cricut. In fact, I'm sure it's not, but we don't need that. We don't need it anyways, okay? Let's open this up. It's very difficult on my desk under the camera. Okay, first, and I'm pretty sure this would be with all Cricuts, you're gonna get some kind of envelope with some instructions and some sample materials. Oh, look at this. Now, this is new to me for the Cricut Maker 4. It's a little mini weeding tool. Okay. So we're gonna take the packaging out. Hey, are you with me so far? This isn't bad, right? Take the packaging out. Take it out. Okay, now, I do remember my other Cricut being like shrink wrapped, so yours probably is too, regardless of which one you have. You should have a cord, a power cord, and a cord that goes from your Cricut to your computer. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, so get whatever cord you have out. I don't think there's any. Oh, there's a mat. Now, not all Cricuts come with a mat. Okay, so you might not have a cutting mat in your box, but that's okay. You can buy a cutting mat. And listen, you can go on Amazon and buy any cutting mat. You do not need to get the Cricut one. I will make sure my Amazon storefront has some Cricut cutting mats in it, but I've used so many different brands, I don't really think it matters. It's going to be a little bent if you did get one in your box. That's all right. You'll be okay. They're pretty flexible. Okay. Here's my Cricut. So let's open up our Cricut. Poke a little hole in your plastic. Okay. This is the fun part. I love opening things. Anybody else? All right. Hey, we got the plastic off. We are off to a good start, guys. Okay. All right, so when you have, now some Cricuts will be a bit different, but I think the Maker, maybe most of them, I'm not sure, but you lift the lid up and this front part should, here you go, it opens up, okay? So when you lift your lid, let's do it again. So closing it, you're gonna close the bottom part and then the top, okay? Opening it, you're just gonna lift the lid and just let it do its thing, see? Okay, so now the Cricut's open. If you're unboxing yours for the first time, you're probably gonna have some cardboard here or foam or something that they put here to keep these from moving around in transit. So you're gonna take that out, okay? You might have just one of these spots, you might have two. The Maker has 2, and I think the Explore Air also has 2. This spot is going to be your blade. You can open it here. Let's zoom in. Okay, so you just pull this forward. Okay, mine's a little bit hard. It might be hard because it's brand new, but here's your blade. Okay, if you push down on this, the blade's going to come out, and that's very sharp, so be careful. But that's your blade. There are other tools you can get to go in this spot. We'll get into that later, but right now, there's that. And it is a little bit hard to open and close, so don't let that scare you. You're not going to break it. This spot you'll open, and this thing right here is where you're going to put a pen. There's also a scoring stylus you can put in there, but again, that's for later. Now, my Cricut came with a pen. I'm not sure what other models come with a pen. This is a Cricut pen. It's sized to fit in here. You can use other pens. There are aftermarket adapters you can get to put in here. But basically, you're going to take your Cricut pen and you're going to put it down in here. And you're going to clamp it. Yeah, you got to see how that arrow, you got to click it in. Okay, it feels like you're going to break it. You're not going to break it. But this arrow needs to be down there. And then you clamp it in, and that's how you can write with your Cricut. And that is awesome. I usually use my Cricut to address my Christmas cards. It looks real pretty. You can use so many different fonts, and it looks like it's handwritten versus printed because it's an actual pen. Okay, so that's the basic. Also, good to know, this lid, and this is the same across all the Cricut models with the exception of like the Joy or the Joy Extra. This is a storage spot, so you may or may not have noticed that. I think it'd be hard to miss on this one, but nonetheless, this is a storage spot. There's a spot to put your extra blades, and you can put your pens in here. This little mini weeding tool that came with this, which is new to me, you can put that in there. And there you go. Put whatever you want in there. Put some snacks in there. I don't care. Okay. So now you got your power cords. Let's undo our power cords. Now the Cricut does use Bluetooth to connect. In the past, have had a lot of issues with the Bluetooth on mine where it would drop the connection midway through a cut, and then I would have to basically start over, and it would spit the mat out, so I couldn't even, continue cutting. So I would always connect it via USB. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have that same issue with this Cricut, or if that's just like a Cricut issue across the board. Maybe someone can let me know if you have this model, the newer models. I'm wondering if maybe the Bluetooth module or whatever it is a little bit better. But you can fix that by just connecting your Cricut to your computer via USB. Or in my case, because I have a MacBook and I don't have a USB port, I get a little connector that goes from USB-C to USB. And then I plug in my USB connector that way. But we are going to just try to connect this. Now this one came with a USB-C cord, so I won't even have to use my connector should I decide to connect via USB-C. So that is a nice upgrade. But again, if you have an older model and the cord is a USB and you have a MacBook that doesn't have a USB port, you can get yourself one of these little connectors. You plug the USB end in there, and then the other end is USB-C. Okay, so very useful for Mac users. I am going to get this set up on my shelf. Let me show you. All right, so my husband built me this little shelf to keep my cutters. That's my Brother Scan and Cut and my Cricut Joy up there. I already removed my old Maker. It's down here. Ignore my sewing machine bag and my travel craft bag and my Christmas projects in the works right there, okay? But anyways, here's the spot where it's going to go. So I'm going to get this all set up so that we can get to doing our first cut and test it out. I just wanted to show you, just in case maybe you have this question. On the back of the Maker or any Cricut are these two spots. This is where your cords are gonna go. So this cord that can connect to your computer is gonna go in here. And even if you're not going to use this cord, you can still plug it in. It's not going to, in my experience, at least with my other Cricut, it didn't matter. Unless you plug this into your computer, it can just stay there. And then the other cord is your power cord. And you can plug that in right here. Okay, just wanted to show you that just to make sure. All right, so it's all plugged in. One thing to note when you plug in your Cricut or set it up, make sure you have space behind there because your mat is gonna run through your machine. And if you have it like up against the wall, it's gonna hit the wall and mess up your cut. So make sure you have like, I think it's like 12 inches, not even that, 10 inches probably is plenty, okay? And I didn't even measure, we're just gonna assume. All right, so we open the lid. We're gonna turn it on because I plugged it in. And now it's on. One thing I want to mention here too, and I don't think it's going to be something that most people need to do, but you do on occasion. These white wheels here called the star wheels, they help grip your mat. And some materials it's going to ask you to move the star wheels over. That's what these are, and they just slide, and you can slide them from one end of the bar to the other, okay? That's usually if you're like cutting like leather or something like that. So that's what those are, in case you ever had that question. Now mine are pretty hard to slide, but it's probably because it's new. But anyways, if you ever get prompted to move the star wheels, that's what those are. So now that I have it on, you can see we have this button, which is going to load and unload your cutting mat. This is the button that is the button you're going to push when you're ready to cut. And this is to pause your cut in case something goes awry and you need to pause it. So you can do that. And then you also have these little storage things here. This is also a good spot if you want to set your iPad up there. Obviously, I won't be doing that. But let's go to the computer now and look at Design Space. Okay, now go to your computer. I would suggest using a laptop. I think Design Space is much easier to use on the laptop, although you can use the mobile app or the iPad app. Again, laptop is much easier. You're going to go to Cricut.com, and up here in the corner, it says Design Space. You're going to go to Design Space, and then you're going to click on here, and you're going to pick which machine that you have, okay? So they have all the machines that the Cricut Design Space software will support. I have the 4, so I'll click on this. Now, I already have it downloaded, so I'm not going to do all of this, but this is how you would download it, okay? And it's going to walk you step by step. They even have a QR code here if you want to download it for iOS. So get it downloaded, and then I'll show you how to make your first cut. Okay, so once your software is downloaded, I know every computer is different. I have mine pinned down here, so I can just click on that and it opens up Design Space. And this is kind of how it'll look when you open it up. You can create an account. It's free. You probably already did that. Let me explain real quick what Access is. Now, Cricut Access gives you access to a lot of different files and fonts that Cricut has provided. And so that's a monthly fee. For me, I feel like it's really worth it. However, there are a lot of free files and free fonts out there on the internet and other ways to get things. You don't have to pay for Access. Access also has ready-made projects and things like that. I think it's great, but Cricut Access is a subscription. Cricut Design Space is a software that's free to use, and there are free elements and graphics within Cricut Design Space that are completely free for you to use. So I just want to make that distinction. Access is a subscription, and Cricut Design Space is the software that's completely free, okay? Even if you don't have a Cricut yet, you can download Design Space and play around with it and kind of get familiar with it and see what you think. So this is what Design Space looks like. And when you get ready to start a new project, you can go over here to new project, or you can click on canvas. So this is our canvas. This is where we design things. My screen was a little dirty, I feel like. But anyways, now before we get into designing, let's open this up. This is the things that came with our maker. So there is a user manual, I'm assuming, or a quick start guide. Yeah. Gonna kind of walk you through the different parts of your machine. So obviously in a few different languages. There we go, there's English, okay? I don't really need that. I've had several Cricuts. I don't need that, I don't think. Famous last words, maybe? I don't know. This Cricut came with some paper. It came with some vinyl. So we have removable smart vinyl. So removable vinyl is something that you would put on a surface, but you want to later remove it. For me, I never really use removable vinyl. If I'm gonna put something on a surface that I maybe want to remove, I'll still get permanent, because it's never really permanent. You can always take it off. Permanent vinyl just has a stronger adhesive than the removable vinyl. But this is what you put on surfaces, whereas this iron-on vinyl is what you would iron on. So it's activated by heat. And then we have transfer tape, which you need if you are putting on removable vinyl. So we can get into all that in future videos. And then the only distinction I want to add about smart vinyl, which I don't really care about, smart vinyl just means you can put it through your machine without a cutting mat. I don't think that matters to me. Cutting mats are cheap. Smart vinyl is more expensive than other vinyls. And I don't even really like Cricut vinyl that much. I like Caesar, and that's usually my go-to. Okay. Again, those are things we can get to in future videos. As always, if you have questions or things you would like me to show you, please ask in the comments. I'm definitely not an expert, but I feel like I'm pretty familiar with the Cricut, so I feel like I can probably help you with most of your questions, or at least direct you to a video that I feel like explains it well. So for this purpose of this video, I just want to show you how to cut your first thing, just so you can get familiar. And I think it's very simple. Just to go over here, do you see where it says shapes? The shapes up here are free. It says free. If you scroll down, now you have the shapes included with subscription. So anything that has this A by it means it's part of Cricut Access. But let's just cut some shapes. So let's cut a heart. So I'm going to click on it. It's going to put it on my canvas here. You can move it around. You can make it bigger. You can make it smaller. You can change the color, which color really doesn't matter when you're cutting vinyl or paper, because it's just going to cut whatever color you put in there, right? So let's just cut this heart out, and we will cut it on this paper that they provided, because why not? So we are going to go over to make. Again, like I said, you can play around with sizes and all these things. We'll get into that, but right now, let's just show you how you can cut, okay? So we're going to go to make. It's going to ask me if I want to save my project. I don't want to save this, so I'm going to say don't. Then you're going to come to a screen like this. It's going to say, how are you going to load your materials? Again, remember we talked about smart vinyl, doesn't need a mat. Well, there's also smart paper. We don't have that. We just have plain old cardstock. This is the cardstock that they gave us. So, therefore, I'm going to need to use a mat. So I'm going to click on mat. Now, the standard size is 12 by 12. There's also a 12 by 24 inch mat that is longer, but we're just gonna be using this one. So I'm gonna click confirm. Now, this is giving us a preview here of what our mat is. So if I put my paper, maybe I put my paper on this portion of my mat and my heart is over here, well, that's not good, but I can always move it. But for the purpose of most cuts, I always kind of put it in the top corner of my mat. It is good to switch it around to extend the life of your mat, but when you're starting out, just keep things up in this corner. It'll make it easier for you to make sure you have things on the right spot. Okay, so now that I have confirmed that, I'm going to go down here and hit continue. And now it's going to connect, hopefully, to my computer via Bluetooth. Okay, so now it's picking up my joy. If I drop this down, it really just wants to pick up my joy. So let's see. Okay, so I think I know my problem. I went back to my mat, I canceled the cut, and I went back. Up here, it's defaulting to the Explorer, which is kind of odd. I don't even have an Explorer. I'm gonna come up here and select the Cricut Maker 4, because that's what I have. I'm gonna go back to make. Oh, okay, so I have to register my account. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna set up the machine. I have a Cricut Maker 4. I didn't think I needed to do this since I already had Design Space downloaded, but this is good. Again, it's showing you, so it's 10 inches. 10 inches behind your machine to allow room for your mat to go through. Yes, I have 10 inches. Find an outlet, plug it in. Okay, did that. You can select the machine connection type. I'm gonna go rogue and try my Bluetooth because I would really like that to work. All right, so it's searching for my Maker. It may take a minute for your Maker 4 to appear. Keep the app open to ensure this device remains within 15 feet of your machine. Well, I am definitely within 15 feet, so there we go. It connected, that was good. Now we're gonna activate it. There you go, there's my email. I agree to the terms of service, and it's updating the machine. Okay, so that took about 3 minutes or so. So we're gonna hit continue. It's all updated. Now it says it's gonna test it. I'm hoping I can skip that. I don't really want to do that. So let's see. It's looking for my connection. All right, so prepare for cut. Let's do this. Okay, well, apparently we have to. So we are going to put our mat in. Now, mats do have a protective film on them that you need to take off, and then the mat is sticky and that holds your material. Don't discard this piece of plastic because you want to keep it on your machine, your mat, to keep your mat clean and free of like dust and hair that will make it not sticky anymore, right? And eventually that does wear out and you need to replace your mat. But you can see I stuck my paper on here. All right, now we're gonna go over to our machine and we're going to place our mat under these little guides right here. And you push this button and it loads your mat, okay? So now my mat is loaded. It's kind of checking to make sure it's in there. And if you look back on my computer, it's telling me I need to press go on my machine. So we're going to press go and it is going to cut something, I guess. It's gonna test our machine out. All right, now that we're done with that nonsense, let's go back to our canvas and here's our heart. I'm gonna go to make it. Now my machine is selected. Up here it says Maker, Cricut Make It 4. Hit make. We are going to, oh, now it's asking without a mat since I have the Maker. I'm going to use on the mat. We're going to confirm and then we're going to continue. Hopefully it's going to bring up my machine. And then it did, so now it's connected via Bluetooth. So I'm going to take this paper, I'm gonna put it on my mat up in this corner here. I feel like it's really a good idea to bray your paper down, which basically just means make sure your paper is adhered very well. So I'm just gonna use this because it's easy and within reach. So now it's on here. Now you're going to select the material because the Cricut needs to know what it's cutting because that determines how much pressure it puts on the blade. So thinner materials might need less pressure, whereas if you're cutting like a heavy cardstock, it might need more pressure and multiple passes. So we are just cutting cardstock. I'm gonna assume this is probably 80 pounds. It tells us what tools we need. Like if we have something that it's gonna write, it would have a pen in clamp A. Okay, so now it's all ready. We're going to go back to our Cricut and we're gonna load our mat, which will be this button. Back at the Cricut, you can see that the button is flashing, telling us, hey, it's time to load your mat. So again, you place it under the little guides right here, and then you hit load, and it will bring your mat in. Make sure it's there. Now I will say that this sucks that mat in much faster than the other one. And then once it's ready to start cutting, it will flash. Now, whether it is a play button or a start button, some of them are different on different models, it should still flash when it's ready to go. I think a previous model, it was like just the Cricut button. It had like the Cricut logo on it. So you push that and it's gonna start cutting. It's gonna cut out a heart. Just that fast. When it's done cutting, the unload mat, or the button here, the unload, will flash and you can see that it cut our heart. All right, we cut our heart. It was that easy. So I hope that you open your Cricut and do a test cut, and I will maybe make a series going through different things that we can cut and do. But I hope that this helped you at least feel confident to open your Cricut and get started. I would love to know if this was helpful, and if so, if there's other things you want me to show you to do. It doesn't matter how basic, or if you think you want some more complicated things. I'm happy to show you what I know. So let me know if you like this kind of video and if you want more Cricut content. I know there's a lot of Cricut content out there, but just let me know. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.